Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the creative commentary of the President's Play a Pokemon Sapphire Nuzlocke. And today we're going to have a look at episode 3. So, episode 3 going into it, there was a lot of hype, right, building up from the previous two episodes. Particularly in the fact that at this point, episode 2 had actually gained about 1,000 views. I think it was 1,400, 1,500, which was the beginning, let's say, the beginning of this traction that would go on. And episode 3 was great because it was writing straight off of that previous episode. And again, I got it out in less than a week. I think it was 4 or 5 days since I had started working on it that I was able to publish it. And it was the battle against Roxanne. So I knew there was going to be a little bit more of a reason to watch it from even new viewers seeing it because of it being a gym battle, right? The first real climax and the first real pinnacle of the series. So Donald's taking over this episode. It's his first time playing. Let's see how he does, because I don't really have a lot of recollections. I remember 2 jokes maybe of this episode. That's about it. Not really how the rest of it went, so this should be interesting to watch.
What's up, you sons of guns? Welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Sapphire Randomizer Nuzlocke.
Alright, solid start.
Since the last episode, our team has been trained up to level 12, and now it's the Don Meister's turn to cook in some battles.
Before things start getting weird, as they tend to in these videos, on behalf of all of us here in the call and the channel of Game Producer 6, I want to thank you all for the support and feedback that the first 2 episodes received. I think I speak for all 3 of us when I say we are very grateful for your positivity and can assure you this series will continue until the very end.
Presuming Donald doesn't bomb the run here like Afghanistan.
Say what you want, Gandalf, but you aren't going to even phase me this time.
That was actually, now that I'm watching the episode, I recall exactly what this was about. I got a lot of comments. I believe it's the most liked comment on episode 2 of someone saying, "Here's to hoping this run finishes." Because at this point, again, Dornas Mendon had uploaded 2 or 3 episodes of Emerald, and it had been like a month or 2 months or something since they had uploaded. So it was kind of a common thing that people would start these episodes or start these series and then not end them. And again, it was around this time, I think, that President's Playdates was going on a hiatus or like not really uploading anymore. Or there was kind of a long block again where there was none of these getting uploaded. So people were concerned, saying, okay, there's great potential for this series, but is it actually going to finish? So I just wanted to put it out there and really, put to rest on No Chesto, that this series was ending. I was going to finish it regardless. And the same with even any series that I do now, any series that I start, I will finish. I know I have Super Metroid. I haven't uploaded that in a while. Same with Infinite Fusion. That is definitely going to be finished, and it will be done in these 3 voices at some point. So definitely, if I put my mind to a series, it's going to get finished. I have a Skyrim Online series, okay? And I hate to plug it here, but it took me over 1.5 years, 12 live streams that I edited and I memeified into a couple of 15, 20-minute parts. The most viewed one has 1,000 views because I posted it on Reddit, and then I got shadow banned from Skyrim Reddit. Thanks for that, by the way. But it took me 1.5 years to finish that, and I still did, even though there was not really an audience there for it. It was just me being proud of myself for getting it done. So that's the same with these videos. If it ever comes to a point where I'm only uploading monthly, bi-monthly, whatever, I'm still going to get it done. I put my mind to a series, I'm going to get it done. So sorry for the long tangent at the start of a video like this.
Now that the Big D is in control, you 2 bozos can sit back and enjoy the show.
Can I ask what your approach to battles is going to be?
Why, it's simple, Barack. Either I already know the best move to use against the opponent considering their type weaknesses, or I click the strongest move. It's child's play, really.
That's a fair way to do it, Donald, but would it hurt to put a bit of thought into your moves? Using the strongest move isn't always the best option. If you spam Double Edge with Torkoal, for example, he would knock himself out in no time flat.
Listen, Barack, you Infernape piece of shit, you can criticize my game plan when it starts to fail. Spoiler, I don't think that's going to be happening.
Again, this was, I don't know how I even tried to trigger subtitles there. This was me explaining the different playstyles, right? So Donald is a masher. Literally, he mashes buttons. Whereas Barack he actually takes his time. And as we get to the end of the series, spoiler, Barack has the least amount of deaths. And that's because I actually properly try-harded with Barack. I can't lie. I actually tried my hardest when I was playing as Barack. Joe was a bit like, he does whatever. Like, sometimes I consider the thought of maybe he's forgetful at this point or whatever. But I didn't want him to completely throw. So I wasn't really giving a 2-second thought to Joe's moves. I would just look at a situation at face value and go, right, there's a Zangoose on the screen. I'll just use double edge. Whereas Barack might go, right, do I want to smog it and try poison it? Is there another way to go about it? Is double edge the right choice? It is. Okay, I'll go for it. And then Donald was, right, what's my strongest move? What's super effective? Quickly, what slot is in number 3? I think that's Bubble Beam. Okay, I'm going to quickly go to Bubble. It's not Bubble Beam. That's why he makes mistakes. That's why Joe makes mistakes. And if Barack makes a mistake, that's because I genuinely, as a player, made a mistake. So.
Barack is right, Donald. Sometimes taking it slow really helps out. I'm only sorry for myself that I have to put up with your goofy ass regularly. Barack is at least chill. You're just a whiny asshole. Oh my God, it's Kakuna.
I forgot that's how it broke the silence. Again, just to follow on from that episode 1 joke, that, he's mistaken all these yellow Pokemon as Pikachu. Finally, Pikachu pops up, and at this point, I write the episodes as I go. It's like pretty much 95% freestyled, and I'm doing it in the editor as it goes. And I get to this part, and I have Joe last speak, and I'm like, okay, what do I talk about? What do I talk about? What's on the screen right now? Oh my God, yes. Hey, yo, it's Kakuna. Like, it was just the perfect loop, It was perfect.
Imbeciles, shut up. It's our Rust Turf Tunnel encounter.
Oh, shit. I fuck with Fear Row heavy, actually. This might not be bad.
Tell me I'm not the only one who cried when Ash left his Fear Row behind in the anime. That shit had me weeping.
It was Pidgey, you clown. Now a Pokemon like this deserves to live in luxury just like myself.
One of the things that I really love doing for Joe, one of the reasons that he's probably my favorite character to write for, is because you don't have to be on the ball with consistencies, right? So you could say anything in relation to a fact or even something that I've pre-established already in these videos. It can be wrong, but it can be okay because Joe's forgetful. So, not that I forgot that it was Pidgeot that was let go in the anime, by the way. That's not what I'm insinuating. But later on, there may be points where Joe questions something or he says something that already in the past he's confirmed that he knows about or that he actually regularly understands, but he just plays it off as dumb because he's forgetful. That's one of his traits. Just thought I'd point that out here because we will see that a lot more as time goes on.
Beep, wrong choice, Donald.
Beep.
You just gonna sit there and take it, Donald?
Like hell I will. Since you're sucking off the Pokeball so much, let me prove you wrong.
Ooh, unfortunate Donnie. This time the Premier Ball would have worked.
Who's sucking off whose Pokeballs? I'm interested.
Besides, I have the perfect name.
Let me guess, KFC? Also, I didn't want to say it earlier, but how dare you betray your McDonald's pack, Donnie? I thought you were Big Mac for life.
Ha 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 ha. Sorry, Obama, were you talking to me or the Fear Row, and I'm Big Mac for life. But sometimes that boneless chicken goes hard after sunset, facts.
Why did I nickname the Firo Donnie? Again, I don't know. I just had it in my brain, like, at this point. I was playing through, and I thought, okay, who's playing right now? Donald. What would be a Donald thing to do? He would probably be so egotistical, he would nickname the very first thing he catches after himself, regardless of what it is. I didn't go into the editor with this whole conversation scripted out and ready to go. I had gone into it with, there's a lot of angles I could have approached for this where Donald just catches it and goes, I caught something. I'm really great. I'm the best at this game. Donnie, that's what it's going to be called. He's going to be the greatest member of the team. Unironically, he ended up being the first death, but now it just came out to be a really weird love for Firo, which also comes across as a KFC type of thing, and there's the whole conflict with his McDonald's pact and KFC, which we'll get into when Wickety Split shows up later on. So
That's Cap, and everybody knows it.
Speed and special attack aren't too shabby. It's even got fire spin for chip and T-bolt for coverage. Color me impressed, Donnie?
Ha 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 ha. Oh, sorry, you sickle. Were you talking to me or the fear row?
And that was another joke that came from it. Every time they said Donnie, it would be, oh, was it me or the Firo? I usually get them to say Donnie. I get Barack and Joe to say Donnie in relation to kind of being friendly towards Donald, like actually caring for him. Whereas if they're like roasting him or whatever, they'll be like, oh, suck that, Donald. Whereas they wouldn't say, suck it, Donnie, as much. Anyway, that's what I do in more modern videos. So, you know, they're here trying to be peaceful and be mindful of him, be like, oh, you know, this is a very good catch, Donnie. What are you going to do with it? Were you talking to me or to Firo? It's just like, oh, that's so annoying. Like, it's not even funny. And now we get into why he nicknamed it the way he did with the spaces and stuff.
Okay, you dyslexic, I have to ask, why the f did you spell it so stupid?
Okay, now I'm ready to go. Let me just put your wife in front and we can start having a good time.
Giggity.
But leave Michelle out of this. Remember, Donald the gyms are type themed, so the first few trainers are crucial for you to gain an advantage.
Of course, Barack, I'm hoping for psychic or even ghost, as your wife could plow through like a bulldozer.
Giggity.
But leave Jill out of this.
Normal is a pretty fitting first gym type.
Again, just playing off the, you know, Brock, giggity, Joe, giggity. That kind of, not repetitive, but like repeated variation of a joke. It's something that I do quite commonly in these videos. So, you know, I'll try to point it out when it's relevant, let's say.
We don't have a ghost that can abuse the immunity, but we do have Vital Throw on Snoop to deal some heavy damage. This is your game to lose Donnie, so make Joe and I proud.
Damn, I wish I was asleep with that Whismer.
Here we go. Joe, for God's sake, why do you say these things?
Wait, I meant to be asleep like that Whismer.
Oh, we thought you meant you wanted to have sex with that Whismer.
Well, don't get me wrong. Given the opportunity, I would smash Whismer's cute little butthole until it was as wide as the gender wage gap.
One of the craziest things I think ever said. So let's break it down. Whismer was said way too many times there. I wish I had, you know, kind of written that differently so that Whismer wasn't said 4 times, and you know it was even pronounced wrong half the time. Whismer. And second, that is a real detail. If you look at a model of Whismer in 3D, for some reason, that is detailed. I don't know what that is. Is it meant to be like a fake tail? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it's a common consensus that is Whismer's, you know, and that's Joe's dream, apparently. Why? I don't know, but it is.
Holy Joe, really right now?
Joe, it's one thing to pound a Whismer, but to say that directly after, you disgust me.
I would actually pick Celadon or Veilstone so I could splash out at the casino with some bitches.
Joe, now you're speaking my goddamn language. Turns out you are actually likable when you are awake.
Bitches are overrated. There, I said it. Hoes are only there to shake and break your heart. Why even bother?
Hey, Barack, what's the best way to open a door, pushing or pulling?
That's easy, Donnie. Pulling, why?
Well, why don't you fucking pull some bitches then, huh? I swear, anyone who spouts that hose or evil bullshit doesn't have a clue what they're talking about.
That's a classic. How do you open a door by pulling or pushing? You pull it open. Well, why don't you pull some, you know? That's just a setup joke that I've heard so much in my life. As to why they're pimps, again, I don't know. It was just kind of a characteristic that I made up for them that does get resolved. And I guess one of the things, this is probably a good point to talk about it, is, you know, it's not really an idealistic trait to have in somebody, in these two, to be pimps and to say the stuff that they say and to be so controversial. But I think it's a great way to kind of show off having a flaw as a character is not necessarily a bad thing. People will comment at the end of this Sapphire playthrough on the movie or at the finale, and they'll say, damn, like, this was such a journey, and like I really got to know these guys and really enjoyed their banter and their play styles and their talks and stuff like that. And one of the things that comes from that is they are flawed. They're flawed characters. They say the things that they say because they're sick and they're flawed and, you know, it's not right. But to overcome those flaws and to also make you realize that they're flawed, it's a nice thing, you know. It's like It's like how a lot of series, like literally animated series, anime, video games, movies, they're afraid to have a character be controversial or, you know, be something insane like a racist or like a transphobic or like really against religion. I don't know. But if you have a character like that and you make people hate them, well, then the character is a good character. You know, it's a good villain. Or if you have that be a part of somebody's personality that they have to get over or that they have to learn from, again, it's only a story. It's fiction. You know, it's fictional. So to see these guys start off the series being so rude and so crude with the words that they say and really, like, you know, exemplifying a lot of bad things, saying a lot of bad things and agreeing with them, only for the end of the series to turn around and they've kind of mellowed out and they've kind of gone like, you know, is it really that funny? Like, the one that I always remember is Trump near the end of the series, and I suppose into Infinite Fusion at the start of it, is that he will just randomly defend, like, gender. And he'd be like, gender is the coolest thing. I think Joe does it at some point as well in Sapphire, where somebody makes a joke about gender, and then the other one jumps in and goes, yo, I think that's the most, like, badass thing ever. You know, it's like, wow, I didn't really expect that to come from you, but that kind of makes it hit a little harder. So that's one thing about these characters. Yeah, they're flawed in a lot of ways. And I specifically write them to be flawed. Because if that makes you realize what it means to be a flawed person, and therefore not to do it, well then, that's cool. And then if you find it funny, that's cool. Just don't tell anyone, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, like there's a purpose for the things that are done here. So that's just something to realize.
I'm not saying go marry one. Oh, damn, the natural cure Doduo. That was slick play. I'll give that to her.
You know what I'd give to her?
Yeah, you're pissed, Joe. We get it.
Well, I was going to say phone number and hand in marriage. But I mean, if she gets down and begs for the doodly noodly straw, I have no choice. Boys, please understand that.
A lot of people really like that line because it deviates from the obvious. He's like, oh, you know what else you would like? Brock literally points it out. And then he's like, no, at first I was going to say my phone number. But, you know, like, if she begs for the noodly doodly straw, bro, like, I got to give it to her. Like, a lot of people comment about that. I really like that people appreciate it.
Oh, we understand very clearly, Joe. I have to say, Donald, even though you're way too over-leveled and have a busted-ass Pokemon that's carrying you this episode, you are making quick work of her team, shredding her with no paper.
Man, I want to just annihilate every baby and stab it in the face 1,000,000 times now after that Igglybuff incident.
Character development.
I'll say it again. China was onto something with the one-child policy because those bastards deserve to die.
Maybe too much character development?
Yeah, and you want to shove far-fetched leaky leak up your... Whatever, Joe, shut the F up. I'm cooking up the fattest dub I've made in my life. Have a bit of faith, boys. Let's be honest. I had this in the bag from the moment I started playing. Why? Because that's when we decided to use our...
trump card.
Damn, that was pretty badass, Donnie. Congratulations. You earned us our first gym badge.
I really like that ending. I don't know why. It's so simple. Trump card is a move in Pokemon, but I didn't elaborate on that. But just the fact that it's Donald, that's their trump card. Trump card. It's just the delivery. Everything was perfect. These first few episodes, delivery's all over the place. Like the way that they talk, the emotion behind it, the way that things are said. It's not how I would have had this go at all, right? I would have definitely changed a lot of things there. But as the series progressed, I really started to understand how to emotionally adjust these guys so that every time they pronounce something, they pronounce it in the way that I want. And that might take a few generations of something, but that trump card there, just that, like, it's kind of like a little cheeky, like a trump card. Like, I wouldn't have changed that for the world. That was perfect.
I'm sorry, Roxy. We've got to go our separate ways now. It's not you, it's me.
All right, Splurge is in front, so hopefully Spark or Bubble can just one-shot whatever this goon has in his party.
I'm expecting an easy win here, Donnie.
What the f***?
It's only a Reggie. Will you both calm your tits? Don't overthink it, Donald.
Bubble.
Oh, say Viper sucker, he overthought it. Well, now you better pray for a low roll or Splurge is dead.
Say Viper. It's meant to be Viper. Maybe like Seah. I don't know. Again, it's not one that I commonly use because it's difficult to get them to pronounce, but it's a Viper.
And there's the freaking blizzard. GG.
Splurge, you better live this, you pussy.
Wow, God likes you today, I guess, Donald.
I just love how his response to Splurge dying is like, "Oh, you better not die, like you wimp." Basically, like you're a wimp if you die to this Blizzard. You're the same type attack bonus Blizzard from a more than likely special attacking monster against the Ditto. Like that's just so funny to me.
What's your next move?
Snoop, smoke this blocky, cocky ice beam right now. A bit of a reach there, Barack. Ah ha 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 ha! Look, Joe, it's you sack of shit. President of Devon and Pokemon Sleep.
When would I ever wear a hat like that?
I think it's more so the gray hair, Joe.
Again, just the quick comment of like, that's not me. I wouldn't wear a hat like that. That's not what he's talking about, Joe. But all right, cool. You do you.
Pokemon Sleep is going to be a banger when it drops. I cannot wait.
Same here, Barack.
Did not age well.
All right, boys, time to set sail. Anyone want to start with their pirate song?
I guess I'll go first if you two don't mind. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Take a good hard look at the motherfucking boat, yeah.
Daylight come, and we want to go home.
All right, guys. 1, 2, 3.
So come on board and bring along all your hopes and dreams.
Barack, what the absolute
Obviously, I did not make that cover. I will link it in the description to this video because I can't remember who made it. But it's a great cover of Obama doing the English voice, or the English dub version of We Are from One Piece. Amazing. I was reading through One Piece at the time. Well, I was watching it first, and then I started reading through it. So there's a lot of One Piece influence, especially from this next block. Say for the next 10 episodes, there's a lot of One Piece references. But I don't know why I just had that little segment there. I was going through, it was episode 3, and I was like, you know what? Let's have Joe sing, let's have Donald sing. And I'd already known about the One Piece cover, so I was like, this is perfect. This works out really well. And I just literally Googled Barack Obama One Piece images or something, and I got those ones of Bon Clay and him with the hat on. So it turned out pretty well. A lot of people really like it, but please don't be mistaken. I did not make that cover, that amazing, amazing cover. Check it out in the description. I might have it here as well, the artist or whoever the credit goes to, because that was not me. I borrowed it. Thank you. Thank you for letting me use it.
How did you manage to sneak a whole ass orchestra into your room without us noticing?
Barack, that was Flames. You should pitch that cover for the One Piece live action, and in return ask Netflix to cast you as Mr. One.
I prefer Monkey D. Obama.
All right, you raggy racist bastards. Can you just get on with your encounter already, Donald?
Fine, I'll catch 2 Pokemon and leave the other encounters for you, Monkey D. Obama.
Nothing wrong with another normal type. Keeps our weaknesses at a minimum.
Quiet down and let the big boys cook.
I hate it when you two bang me like this.
On my mama, never say that shit again, or I will beat you like a paralyzed spoink.
Hey, you act.
So a paralyzed spoink, for anybody that doesn't know, I guess this is when we're actually starting to get to the really relevant parts of the commentary, because I get to explain jokes like this. A paralyzed spoink, obviously in the Pokemon games, it doesn't die straight away from getting paralyzed, but in its lore, in its Pokedex entry, according to its Pokedex entry, if a spoink gets paralyzed and it cannot move, it should die. So beating someone like a paralyzed spoink pretty much means killing them. This is when we're really starting to get into the Pokemon comparisons and stuff, and the Poke puns. So this is when I really start to feel it out. And from this episode onwards, we really get into where I get to explain a lot of the greatness.
Hey, you actually caught it, Donald.
Oh yeah, can you name me all of my failed encounters, Joe? Go ahead. Oh wait, you can't. Big D is on top, and he's ready to shaft blast your asses into outer space.
Big D is on top? Yeah, that's bullshit.
Aha, good one, Joe. How did you know I was going to name this piece of bull-wonky bullshit? Seriously, without its fairy typing, Grand Bull is so lame.
Oh, look.
Kind of a callback as well to Donnie, you know, where one of them says, oh, you know, what are you going to nickname this thing? Or how, blah, 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 Donnie. And he says, we talking about me or the Vero? And again, he does the same thing with Granbull. Like, how'd you know I was going to call the ground ball that? So there's kind of two ways you could read into that. Is that just Donald being annoying for him being annoying? Or is he taking what they're saying into account and just being like, oh, I'm going to nickname it after what they just said because then I can annoy them about it. You know, it could go either way, really.
Look, here he goes with his fucked up naming conventions again. You can't just try and be normal for 2 seconds, can you, Donald?
Isn't it kind of fucked up how Zigzagoon can only move in zigzags? Like, what if its family was killed right in front of it? That tormented little shit would have to move 90 degrees to try and kill the murderer.
Again, a lot of Pokedex entries here getting brought up, but you know, if I can picture this, right? So if Zigzagoon was, if its family died, let's say if its mother died here, right? And Zigzagoon was here in front of it. To get to this point, Zigzagoon couldn't just go in a straight line. It would have to like zigzag its way there. That's how I read it anyway. You know, a lot of people say like it's according to the axis, but I think it's literally if it picks one point it has to go to, it can't just go straight there. It's got to zigzag its way there, which is messed up. You know, you're literally traversing unnecessary ground after seeing your family die. I really hope no one takes these videos out of context either, by the way, because I say a lot of random things in response to stuff that's said. But, you know, I can't help it.
But isn't the bishop your favorite chess piece, Joe? It's literally that as a Pokemon.
The chess foreshadowing.
Nah, the bishop is my favorite piece because I value its morals, its dedication to our Lord, serving church services to give hope to the people, and bringing little boys around the back of the church.
All right, I'm going to call this adorable little guy Ziggers. Any objections?
This is one of the most replayed sections of the whole series. You can see why. A lot of people listen to this and go, what was just said?
Pretty cool name, Don.
Excuse me, you clockwork gobbler? What did you just say?
It was nice knowing you, Donnie.
Oh, God. Ziggy. I said Ziggy.
Physical bulk and hit points are pretty good. Looks like we have a reliable physical wall on our hands.
I really wish I didn't get Brock to explain this here. I probably should have got Donald to do it. Because he just goes from a freak out into like, what did you just say? Into, well, this thing's actually pretty good. I know time has passed, but like, God, it's insane how that still gets brought up to this day. I literally, if you go onto YouTube and if you like drag the playback button or like the player header or whatever over to that point, it'll show you the hill of that being the most replayed part. I think in the part 1 to 3 and the 1 to 10, and then in the full movie, it's up there. It's definitely up there as one of the most viewed moments in that.
Moveset is pretty good too. You and Joe are actually pretty good. I underestimated you two.
Thanks, fellas. When you light the fuse, you get fireworks. What can I say? Anyways, boyos, I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Catch you later, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. That's episode 3. Wow. Overall, I forgot a lot about this episode. Maybe for better. Definitely a few things I should have fixed in terms of joke delivery, like using Whismer so many times. Again, a lot of cursing and a lot of repetition in some things. But, you know, you could say there's a bit of improvement from episode 2, but I would still say episode 2 holds stronger. You know, right now you were to place episode 1, 2, and 3. I would definitely put 2 as number 1 right now. Then 3 as the second best episode, and then episode 1. But, you know, overall, this episode seems to be decently well received. Some decent jokes in it that would go on to be quoted and referenced again later down the line. But, yeah, episode 3, huh? This is when the Pokepuns really start to come to light. So, I'm very interested to see how the rest of the videos go now that I'll be able to talk more in depth about what I really wanted to do this series for. So, awesome. Can't wait for the next one. I will see you guys then. Have a wonderful day.